again, when you strike a match, let that sulfurous tip you tell I don't use a lot of matches. So again, when you strike a match, let that sulfurous tip burn off. Get into that natural wood. But don't let it get that far, because I waited too long. Let it get into the natural wood. Yeah. And we're back! What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, Ambush Life. In this beautiful evening, it's starting to get nice and cool here in Alabama. So I'm out on the front porch in the rocker, and gonna be doing a little cigar review tonight for you. A little cigar by Deadwood. So yeah, man, smoking the cigar. Thought I'd throw on the hat, and yeah, let's get after it. See what we got here. All right, let's see what's up. So as you can see, my table tonight is this nice African djembe. I mean, hey, when you don't have an end table out on the porch, why not use the hand drum, right? Super cool. That way, if you get inspired, you can go to town. But I got a cigar here that I got from Cigars and More over here in Trussville, Alabama. 1423 Gaston Highway, Cigars and More. If you are in the area and want to check them out, super cool shop. And we'll get into that in a second. What else do we have here? This is really cool. This is my first cigar rest that I've ever got. I mean, I've had cigar ashtrays, but an actual cigar rest. And it's made by Deadwood, which is super cool. And we're gonna unbox this thing together tonight. And I'm fired up about it. So you can see on the side of the box here, obviously Deadwood Tobacco Company. But so this is some of the names of some of their cigars. This is the Crazy Alice, and that's probably my favorite, honestly. I've tried all three of these. Well, actually, I hadn't tried this. I have not had the Leather Rose, so I need to check that out. They didn't have any of those when I came by in shop. But Crazy Alice, Leather Rose. But that's interesting because the cigar we have tonight is neither one of those. It is the Sweet Jane. As you can see here, the Sweet Jane. And yeah, I'm super stoked about it. So we got a couple of items here. We got some matches. JC Newman Cigar Company, had these forever. Rarely ever use them, but gonna break them out tonight. We got a lighter, little Zippo action. Had this thing for ages. And oh, come on, it's been a minute. Let's see if we can do this. What? There it is. These are super cool. I mean, I just like having these around to mess with. And then we got, I don't know what you guys call this, a bullet, if you will, keychain. But I call it a cigar punch because that's ultimately what it is. Got a little blade on the end here. I call it a blade. Might not have the terminology right because ultimately, guys, I'm a pipe man. I love tobacco pipes, love collecting them, smoking them. But I do enjoy a cigar occasionally. And yeah, man, so I got a cigar punch. Some people use a guillotine cutter. I like the punch. I'll show you why. We'll do this together tonight. I'll show you why this thing is absolute fire to have around. Love it. Super cool. But yeah, man, let's get into unboxing this thing, see what it's all about. I love the little box it comes in. Get that plastic out of the way. Oh yeah, this is legit. This is cool. Drew Estate. Deadwood Tobacco Company. You got Crazy Alice on one side, Leather Rose on the other, and look at that. That's beautiful. That's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's get into opening this and see how it actually sits in the rest. And I don't know if y'all can hear it, but the crickets are singing their songs to the Lord tonight. It's beautiful. It's incredible. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. I got something to say on crickets. But all right, here she is. This is the Sweet Jane, and you got to go ahead and acknowledge the label. I think the label is what does that say? Sturgis limited edition, Sweet Jane, Deadwood Tobacco Company. I mean, the artwork is super cool on the label. I love it. If you collect those after smoking each cigar, I think that's a super cool thing. I've never done it, but I think I'll start doing it. I'll save this label, maybe get a little label book and then write my review in it so I can remember if I ever go to pick up a Sweet Jane. Let's smell it. Ooh, whoo. That is nice. Very sweet. Definitely going to be a nice aromatic. Yeah, let's taste it. See what's up. That's good. That's sweet. I like that end cap. It's going to be a nice aromatic. Very tasty. Very nice on the tongue, on the palate. So yeah, let's see how she sits in this thing. I like it. I like it. There's your cigar rest. Pretty sweet. I like it. What do y'all think? Put your comments below. Talk to me. Do you have a cigar rest? If so, what do you use? Did you make it? Did you buy it? Was it gifted to you? This was actually gifted to me. Yeah, by Cigars and More. I think I just happened to come at the right time. They were doing a promotion, and I bought the Sweet Jane and got given this. What a blessing. Look at that. Super cool. I'm digging it. All right, so let's go ahead and punch this thing. For those who have never used a punch, this is super cool. It's one of my faves, man. I used to have a guillotine. I think I gifted somebody along the way with that one. But interesting story on the guillotine. But I want to light this before we get into stories. That's usually how it goes, man. You got to get this thing burning, and then we talk, right? So, cigar punch. Why do you want to use this over cutting the end? My personal opinion. Cigar aficionados, don't come after me. This is my opinion on ambush life. Why do I prefer this over a guillotine? So guillotine, cigar cutter, you chop the tip off, right? Smokes great, smokes like a champ. And yeah, if I got that around and I don't have one of these by all means, I'm going to use it. However, I tend to find that after chopping the tip off and then smoking the cigar, somewhere along the way, I will usually begin to get a little bit of the tobacco leaf, you know, just little pieces of it in my mouth and whatnot. And I don't know, it can get the inside right there, the inside of the cap of the cigar can get a little soggy just from talking and having it in your mouth. So what I like about the punch is instead of lopping off the end, it's going to give you a nice, can you see the size of that? Nice little cut, nice little hole. So you just basically want to center that cap with this. So we're going to do this together. So here we go. If I show you, I'm not going to be able to hit it perfect in the center, so you're going to watch me from here. As I look at it, I would do this, but we might be here a minute. So I'm going to center it right there in the center. As you know, I've already got it a little wet. I like that. I don't want to punch a dry cigar. I want it moist. So we get that as much best center as we can. Little twist action. You can even leave it in there a sec if you want. Twist it around, pull it out. Look at that. Can you see that? Isn't that nice? Already getting the draw from the end. Nice and smooth. I like it. So what does this part do? Okay, let me just use the rest here. Let me use that new rest. Put that cigar down. This is to actually come in this end that's actually left open on the punch. And you can clean that little bit of a clipping you just made right out. You can blow it out. Put that back on your keychain or in your pocket. You're good to go. Love it. All right, let's talk about lights. What do we want to light our cigar with? Well, you got options. You got your Love's lighter, super cheap lighter, gas station lighter you can pick up. Lights like a champ. Here's the problem with the lighter. You go to light this bad boy. Now watch this. The hole we just punched, I'm gonna draw. I'm tasting. As that air flows through the end of this stogie, I'm tasting that tobacco. It's nice. I put this light on it. It's gonna light it. If that's all you got, that's all you got. The problem is the lighter fluid in this bad boy is gonna get drawn ever so slightly through this whole cigar, and I'm probably gonna taste it. Now, will it affect the whole cigar? No. Will it affect the first couple of puffs? Probably. Do I want to taste this? No. Okay. What else do I got? Well, I love the Zippo. It's hard to beat the cool factor of a Zippo. Carry this around, learn to do tricks with it, learn how to open it, flick a flame, love it. Lit many a cigar with it. Why? Because you don't have to hold it down. You light it, it stays lit. You're good to go, right? Same problem. I'm probably gonna get a little bit of this lighter fluid. Don't really want it. Or you could be that guy. You just cannot find your lighter, so you run inside and grab your wife's candle lighter. If that's all you got, homie, that's all you got. Use it. Sit back and light that mug from a distance. I don't want to use this. I don't want to have this in my back pocket. No siree, Bob-a-roo. I'm going a natural way tonight. And a lot of cigar guys, a lot of pipe smokers, they live by the match. I don't always live by the match because I love Zippos. Tonight, I'm gonna live by the match. And it's hard to beat the sound of the striking of a match when lighting a cigar. Once you let that little bit of sulfur burn off the end there, which you want to do, we'll do that slowly and show you. That is pure, untainted little piece of wood right there. It's beautiful. You're not going to get any lighter fluid, added chemical. You're just going to get a nice, hot flame. Might take you 2 matches to properly light the cigar, depending on the wind factor. That's fine. But let's light this bad boy up. So again, when you use a match, that was his dad. I love you, son.
I love you.
So again, when you use a match and you strike, don't get me cracked up. Shh, quiet on a sec. So again, when you use a match, my son's laughing in the background, and you strike that puppy up, let that sulfurous tip burn out there. Not like that. How many matches does it take? Oh Lord. So, again, when you strike a match, let that sulfurous tip you tell I don't use a lot of matches. So again, when you strike a match, let that sulfurous tip burn off. Get into that natural wood. But don't let it get that far, because I waited too long. Let's try this again. Hush, son. So when you light a match, let it get into the natural wood. Yeah. Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it again. So if you notice, what I'm doing here is as I light the cigar, I'm rotating. So I'm getting a nice even burn. I don't want it burning down one side of the cigar, right? I want it burning evenly. Good gracious. Another reason I don't like matches, because I'm outside and it ain't going so hot. Here we go. Watch this. I want to get that nice even burn all the way around. That's looking pretty good. We'll find out in a second. Very sweet on the palate. Very nice. I like it. I don't want to be too quick. I will say, right off the jump, Sweet Jane is not, to me, as sweet as Crazy Alice. I think Crazy Alice had a little more, I don't know, sweetness, aromatic, just right initially, just hit you in the face. And this one's a little milder in my opinion. But might be right up your alley. I like it so far. Now we're gonna sit back and enjoy just for a minute and talk about it. So post in the comments below, let me know, are you a cigar guy? You a cigar man? You a pipe man? What do you enjoy smoking? Is it a darker leaf tobacco? Is it, do you like something milder? When do you like a cigar? What do you like to be doing or not doing when you smoke a cigar? I like to be camping when I'm smoking a cigar. I like to be sitting outside, obviously, when I'm smoking a cigar, unless you want to invite me down to the cigar lounge and we sit on a leather couch, which I have yet to do, but looking forward to that. Got a buddy that wants to go. But usually I'm in good company with some brothers of mine who enjoy the habit as well, or maybe habit's not the right word, who enjoy the hobby. Let's change the H. A habit's something that you can't put down, and I can put down a cigar, but what would the point of that be? Unless I'm going to put it on this new rest and come back in just a moment, then I'll put it down. But this is nice. good night for it. Was hoping when I was going to prep for this video that I had a leftover beer hiding in the back of the fridge. So I moved every milk carton, almond milk carton, bucket of yogurt, looking for that one lost one that maybe rolled to the back and I had forgotten about, but could not find it and wasn't up for running to the store. But I do like a nice beer with the cigar, or a glass of good whiskey. Had neither in the house tonight, so when all else fails, stay hydrated, folks. This is not moonshine. This is H2O. So, a couple of things I want to point out to you right off is I love investigating or admiring or watching carefully the ash of a cigar. Cool story for you. I was at a game night one time. Bunch of super cool people in Florida playing a little jokers and marbles, and had some good beer and some nice cigars came out. And as me and a couple of men were smoking cigars and enjoying the fellowship of our wives being present and the game being played, I happened to be with a incredible person that we had just met and we're getting to know. Super awesome couple that lived a couple houses down, and her family's actually from over in Greece, and so big Greek family. And she was giving me a cigar story as I smoked the cigar that night, which was super cool. So you got to think there's 5 cigars going around this table of this intense game of cards out, marbles move, jokers and marbles. If you never played, it's an incredible game. And Miss Donna begins to tell me this story of how she has memories when she was a young child over there of her Greek family getting together, huge family, and a lot of the older men, the elders of their community would get together. So you're talking about her uncles, all her uncles, her grandfather, all these men would get together, cigar lovers no doubt, and they would sit around and they would actually gamble on the cigar ash. And I thought it was fascinating. So here's what they called it. They didn't call it a cigar ash, they didn't call it an ash, they called it a stash. And I don't know about you, but when I hear the word stash, I'm picturing one of these, right? And if you ain't got a beard to go with a stash, you can look creepy. There's plenty of creepy stashes, but some dudes pull it off. I love a good stash. I love seeing a man rock a stash who's confident with his stash. But if you're not, and you're that guy, it's the creepy stash. You know what I'm talking about. But they called it a stash, and this is why. She said because it's a cigar ash, or they like to call it a stogie ash, hence stash, stogie ash stash. So they would gamble on, or bet on, who could keep the stash the longest while still functioning, meaning you couldn't be weird about it and be a mannequin back in your chair not moving anything. I mean, you had to converse, be social, all things that happen around a good cigar, right? Laughter, able to hold your drink, smoke at the same time, you know, back and forth, yet while keeping the length of the stash. And I thought that was fascinating because, as you can see, this is a good cigar, well made. Because if you've ever smoked a cheap cigar, you will find that the ash, or the stash as we're calling it tonight, will drop almost instantly. It'll continue continue. Maybe in your lap, depending on if you're driving, which is what you usually do when you smoke a cheap cigar. You got it out, you got it because you're driving, right? But this, as you can see, I've been moving. I've not been still at all, hardly. And look at the length of that thing. Impressive. I like it. So she's telling us this and we're gaming. So I'm playing cards, moving marbles, and my stash at this point in the night has gotten incredibly long. And so I'm in the, like, it's me and another dude. I mean, we've got stashes falling left and right. I mean, fifth dude gone, fourth dude gone, third dude gone. It's me and this younger dude. And we're going at it, man. We're playing, and everybody is watching our stash out of the corner of their eye, impressed at who's gonna take it. No money on the table for this, but just interested to see. I mean, smoking the same quality cigar, so I mean, it was all things were even kill across the board. And we're going at it. And the person to my right, as they're moving their marble, bumps my arm, which sends my stash like a man jumping out of a plane with a parachute on his back, point break style, right onto the table. I call it a party foul. I don't know what y'all call it. That's the only way that young man beat me, because dude, I was in it to win it. But tonight, no competition, but a nice stash. Impressive. And man, I could ash that thing at any time. No harm, no foul. But let's just see. And hopefully it won't ash in my lap. But I'm enjoying this. Oh, there it goes. Gone. Still a tasty cigar. Very nice. Outside on the porch. No harm, no foul. We'll build it up again. So a couple things about a cigar is they are sweet depending on, I guess, the type of cigar you get. I'm sure some are stouter than others, obviously. I like keeping my label on. I've seen some dudes pull it off. You'll find that as the cigar heats up, obviously this will get a little looser so you can move it around. I could slide it off right now. I like to keep it on. I like to admire it while I'm smoking, and also like to kind of use it as a grip, even though it's not really. I don't know, I just like putting my finger around it. I'll obviously move it up as this burns lower, but so far so good. I like this. I just don't think it's quite as smooth as the Crazy Alice. I mean, it's obviously sweet. It's the Sweet Jane, but oh, there's another Deadwood cigar. It's called Fat Bottom Betty. That is a nice smoke. Fat Bottom Betty's a good cigar. I don't think it tops Crazy Alice. You might, but I don't think you can go wrong with Deadwood. I really don't. At least I've not been disappointed yet. But oh yeah, back to the crickets. So I want you to listen real close and tell me if you can hear some crickets tonight. You ready? Just listen. See if you can at least catch them slightly. Can you hear them? Because one of the things I was going to bring up earlier, and I waited for this moment, was, have you ever been camping and you're sitting around a fire with a bunch of dudes, or your family, your kids, your wife, beautiful night, stars out, you can hear the fire wood crackling and popping, it's incredible, and all of a sudden you're sitting in your Coleman camp chair and somebody says, "Man, those crickets are loud." And when they say it, you immediately hear this massive multitude choir of crickets. I mean, full-on band going off, like surround sound around you, and you didn't hear the first one until somebody said, "Man, those crickets are loud." And it's all you can hear for like the next 10 minutes. Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me hundreds of times, and I'm fascinated by it to this day. Never fails. Man, you can hear all these other things. You can hear other campers laughing down the way. You can hear the fire, going off. You can hear the tent zipper where the kids are going in and playing fort and doing their thing. And then somebody says, "Man, those crickets are loud." And then that's all you can hear. Not a bad thing, just a fascinating thing. Wouldn't you say? So one thing about a cigar that I've noticed over the years is, especially on these fatter ones, is, man, you can get a heck of a lot of smoke. And we're gonna see, there's not a whole lot of wind blowing tonight. We're gonna see if we can pop a ring real quick. I didn't see one, did y'all? Did you see one, bud? Yeah? Yeah, it is kind of, it's all shifting that way too fast. Not still enough. Let's try it again. I think I saw a little one there, did y'all? That was one, I'm sure, wasn't it? You see that? You see that one? Woo! That was nice. As you can see, we're getting smaller, but enjoying it. So real quick, thought I'd, as we get to the end of this cigar, I thought I'd read you a couple of cigar quotes that I found that I thought you'd get a kick out of. I really enjoyed. So obviously, old Mark Twain was a big cigar smoker and pipe smoker, as we know. But I like this. I like some of his quotes. He says, "It has always been my rule to never smoke when asleep and never to refrain when awake." Come on, old Mark Twain. Oh man, I like this one. "Smoking cigars is like falling in love. First you are attracted by its shape, you then stay for its flavor, and you must always remember, never let the flame go out." Oh, hear, hear. Nice. That was by old Winston Churchill. Oh man, this is nice. Sigmund, is it Freud? Sigmund Freud, is that how you say his last name? I never knew. Didn't pay attention in school, unfortunately. But cigars served me for precisely 50 years as protection and a weapon in the combat of life. I owe to the cigar a great intensification of my capacity to work and the facilitation of my self-control. Come on, Sigmund. Nailed it. Old George Washington in 1776 said this: "If you can't send money, send tobacco." Hear, hear. Oh, Victor Hugo said, "Tobacco is the plant that converts thoughts into dreams." And then I love this one. Old Mark Twain said, "I never smoke to excess. That is, I smoke in moderation. Only one cigar at a time." Old Mark had him some good quotes. "Some people meditate, I smoke cigars. Quote by Ron Perlman. Nice. I like it. And then I'm not sure who was recorded as saying this, but here's an old cigar quote. Why pay $100 on a therapy session when you can spend $10 to $25 on a good cigar? Whatever it is will come back, so smoke another one. Old George Burns. He said, if I had taken my doctor's advice and quit smoking when he advised me to, I wouldn't have lived to go to his funeral. Interesting, George. And then you got old Frank Sinatra. Fresh air makes me throw up. I can't handle it. I'd rather be around 3 cigars blowing in my face all night long. Frank Sinatra. Lover of cigars, no doubt. Very interesting. This, though, this I find fascinating. So, I don't know where you stand on the subject of smoking anything. Cigars, pipes, whatever. Never smoked cigarettes. Don't believe it's pure tobacco. That's a whole nother subject. It's taken many, many lives over the years. Many, many lives. Countless cigarette smoke and the consumption thereof. Don't care for it. But as far as cigars go, I found this fascinating. I don't know if you've ever heard of the who they call the Prince of Preachers, but old Charles Spurgeon, who they called the Prince of Preachers, was an old-timey preacher way back in the day, and he invited a very, at the time, very popular, still loved by many today, evangelist D.L. Moody to speak at one of the events he hosted. And I don't know if y'all know this, but Charles Spurgeon was an avid cigar smoker. Loved smoking cigars. Remember Prince of Preachers? And my light's attracting a few bugs here. But anyway, this, I'm going to read it. Read you the account of the story where Charles Spurgeon invites D.L. Moody to speak at an event he hosted. It says that Moody accepted and preached the entire time about the evils of tobacco and why the Lord doesn't want Christians to smoke. Spurgeon, an avid cigar smoker, was very surprised at what seemed to be a cheap shot leveled by Moody, using the pulpit to condemn a fellow minister for violating an issue of personal conscience. Moody's conscience, obviously. When Moody finished preaching, Spurgeon walked up to the podium and said, "Mr. Moody, I'll put down my cigars when you put down your fork." Wow. So, if you didn't know, Moody was a little overweight, I imagine, according to these stories. And I don't know, I found it fascinating that old Spurgeon invited Moody to preach, and Moody, I don't know, took advantage of that opportunity he was given, and really came down hard on tobacco, knowing good and well that Spurgeon loved cigars. And so I love Spurgeon's response to Mr. DL. And he said, "I'll put them down when you put down your fork." And wow, interesting. So yeah, long story short, be careful when you go to judge another man, because it's I don't know, it's really not our place at all to judge another man for what his conscience condemns or doesn't condemn him for. And it's very interesting that that happened between the two men of God. I like the response of Spurgeon though, and so I don't know, man. I think if you get hung up on that, you need to go read Romans 14 and look at the law of liberty before you go using another man's pulpit to bash him. I've had many incredible spirit-filled, edifying conversations with men over a cigar or a pipe. And we both left lifted, encouraged, greater sense of wisdom and understanding over the topic at hand, whatever we were discussing. And you know, we joke and say that we're sitting around solving all the issues of the world over a cigar. That's obviously not true, because Lord knows this world's got issues. But yeah, super relaxing. Killer hobby, if it's your thing. And if it's not, I probably would not pull out a cigar and offer you one. It's not my place to make another man stumble. So if you feel like your conscience would be affected by smoking a cigar, we're probably not going to sit around and converse over one. But for the brothers that do, I welcome it. And remember, get busy living or get busy dying. Ambush life. And we out.